Hello. What's up everyone? So, in this video, I'll show you how to make this abstract animation in Blender. It loops. I don't know why, but Screencast Keys add-in is not working on this new 2.93 update. But I'll try my best to make you comfortable. So, open Blender. And next to delete this point light. Select this default cube and go to Edit Mode. Choose Face Select Mode and select these opposite faces. Press X and delete only faces. Then make sure everything is selected, if not, press A. Press S, Y, 8. Select Edge Select Mode and hold down Shift and Alt and select these edges. Right-click and subdivide. Select those newly formed edges and press Ctrl+B. Then type 0.05. Now, new faces are formed. Don't click elsewhere and remove the selection. Just press X and delete only faces. Let's go back to object mode and press Shift-D to duplicate this cube. Press Tab and go to Edit Mode. Select these edges and Ctrl+X to dissolve these edges. Select these edges only and then right-click, subdivide. Change to vertex mode and you can see that few vertices were added. Select them and go to the side view. Then, press S, 0.1. Leave the edit mode and add the wireframe modifier. It looks like the default cube already had a material on it. So just change this to emission. Reduce the background value to 0. Oh, the other cube also has the same material. Remove it. Increase the strength of this emission shader to 10 for now. Go to the side view and press Ctrl, Alt and 0 to snap the camera to the view. Select the camera and change Y to -8. The X and Z may not be 0 every time, so change them to 0. Save your file, we don't want to lose unsaved progress. Change to rendered view and change viewport and render samples to 32. Enable bloom and screen space reflections. Pull this up and select Shader Editor. Make sure the other cube is selected, I mean the cube which doesn't have wireframe modifier. And click New Material. You can press N to close the side menu. Make it metallic and gray. Shift-A and search for Musgrave texture and select it. Connect it to the roughness. Add a color ramp here. And flip it. Crunch it down. And reduce the intensity of black and white colors. Go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ins and search for Node Wrangler. And enable it if you haven't. Then, select this node and press Ctrl+T. Connect object to the vector. Reduce the size of the texture. And give 10 for detail. Change dimension to 1.2 or something. Now, let's add more detail to it like bumps. So, add a bump node here. And connect it to the normal. Connect this Musgrave texture to height of the bump node. Reduce the strength. 0.2 will be enough, if not, we can change it later. Add an area light. Go to side view. Rotate it 90 degrees towards the camera. You can hold down Ctrl for snapping. Move it to the end here. Increase the size to 2 meters so that it fills up the space. Increase power to 200. Let's change these colors to blue color. Play with the colors until you get what you like. Later, I will show you how to change the color in Compositing tab. Add a color ramp here. You can change it, but I'll leave it as it is. This area looks plain. So, let's add a roughness map there. Shift D and duplicate this node. And add a mix shader here. Connect this to the mix shader. Connect this color ramp to the factor. Duplicate this Musgrave texture. And connect it to the roughness. Add a color ramp there. Flip it. Then, connect this mapping node to this. Decrease the dimension of this texture. For those of you who don't know, what happens when we decrease the dimension is just that the amount of detail of the texture increases. Reduce the black of the black and the white of the white. It looks better if this is blue colored. Select a wireframed cube and let's edit this material. Add and connect a noise texture to the color of emission. Place a color ramp in between them. Yes, change this to blue color. Reduce scale to 1 and decrease the detail and roughness all the way down. Yeah, we should add texture coordinate and mapping node. Select the noise texture and press Ctrl+T. Change this to object. Bring this black a little bit to the right. I'll just increase the strength of the bump node. Then, duplicate the outer cube and press Y 16. Shift R to repeat it a couple of times. Now, add a cube for the fog, go to edit mode, and scale it and move it. You can change its viewport display to wire if you don't want it blocking your view. Make sure it covers the entire scene. Yeah, add a new material to it and remove this. Because we want the material to be applied on the volume of this cube. So, select principled volume under volume. Now let's see how it looks. Reduce the density to 0.02. And make this 2 to a blue color. Change this to timeline and let's animate our camera. Select the camera. Go to the first frame. And press I, location. Go to the 251th frame. Press G, Y, 16. And press I, location. Now the keyframe interpolation is Bezier, make sure the keyframes are selected, press T, linear. We have to move this and the area light with our camera. So, hold Shift and select them, and select the camera at last. Camera should be the active element. Press Ctrl+P, object. Now, they are parented to the camera and moves with it. We can animate the noise texture of this emission texture. Change this back to shader editor. And change this to 4D. Drag a timeline up. And press I while the cursor is over W. Go to 1/25th frame. Keyframe it with value 10. Go to 251th frame and keyframe it on 0. Choose the FPS, I'll choose 30. Change the output directory. FFmpeg video. MPEG-4. Perceptually lossless. Currently, the bump is going down along the normal. Invert it to make it go up. Increase the emission to 20. Save the file and render image to see what it looks like. Looks great. So, I told you about changing colors in the compositing tab. Let me show you what I was talking about. Go to the compositing tab and check Use Nodes. Move these apart, hold Shift, right-click and drag to add a junction here. Shift A and add a viewer node. and connect it. Press N to open the side menu, click on View and click Fit. Then add in the hue saturation value node. Now you can change the color by changing the hue and saturation by changing saturation. If you want to disable the nodes, you can simply uncheck this. So, render your animation with your own color. Finished rendering? Let's loop it. Click this plus icon and select Video Editing. Click Add Movie and select the clip. Change the end frame as your wish. I will just multiply it with 4. Shift-D and duplicate it to the other side. Make sure there are no gaps in between them. Shift-R, Shift-R. Change the directory or rename it if you want to. And render. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video because it makes me happy and subscribe if you want such videos. Have a great day.